So when you hear the name Salesforce, you probably think of, well, corporate software, right? But this story is about so much more than that. It's a story about a tech revolution, about building a modern empire, and a really controversial pivot that could change the future of work for all of us. Let's dig into how they got here. All right, so to really get what Salesforce is all about, we have to start with a pretty basic question. What does a company like this, the self-proclaimed #1 AI CRM, actually do? Well, at its heart, it all comes down to CRM. That stands for Customer Relationship Management. You can think of it like the ultimate digital Rolodex on steroids. It's a system that helps a business manage every single interaction with every single customer, from sales and service all the way to marketing. But what's absolutely fascinating is how their mission has just completely transformed over the years. I mean, they started with this super radical slogan, "The end of software," promising to basically kill the old way of doing things. And now, their mission is all about humans with agents working together. That is a massive, massive shift. So let's unpack how they got from point A to point B. All right, let's rewind and start at the very beginning with their first act. And it was nothing short of a revolution, all built on this crazy idea of no software. So back in 1999, this former Oracle executive, Mark Benioff, he has this revolutionary idea. What if you could deliver software over the internet instead of on a CD-ROM? We call it SaaS today, and it's everywhere. But back then, that was a wild idea. This led to their marketing campaign in 2000, where they literally hired actors to stage mock protests outside their competitors' conferences. It was bold, it was theatrical, and you know what? It totally worked. By 2004, they were ringing the bell on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so the revolution was a huge success, but that was just Act 1. Now we get to their next phase, building an absolute empire in the cloud. And wow, this chart right here really tells the story, doesn't it? I mean, just look at these numbers. In 2009, they hit $1 billion in annual revenue. Fast forward to 2025, and they're closing in on almost $38 billion. This isn't just growth, it's a straight-up explosion. So how on earth did they do it? Well, here's the thing. It's really important to understand that this wasn't all just them building new stuff from scratch. A huge part of their empire-building playbook was to just go out and buy other companies, and they spent billions and billions of dollars doing it. For example, let's take a look at their 2019 acquisition of Tableau. They shelled out a staggering $15.7 billion to buy this leader in data visualization. And just like that, their customers had this incredibly powerful new way to understand all that information sitting in their CRM. And just when you thought that price tag was huge, 2 years later, they went even bigger, spending over $27 billion on Slack. This was their largest purchase ever, and the whole idea was to make Salesforce the one central place for all your work communication and collaboration. And through this super aggressive strategy of building and buying, by 2022, the mission was complete. They had officially kicked the old guard off the throne and become the biggest enterprise applications company in the entire world. But you know how it is in tech, right? You just can't stand still. And that brings us to their current and maybe their most important transformation yet, this huge pivot to AI agents. So when they say agents, what are they even talking about? We're not just talking about a simple chatbot here. Agentic AI refers to these really advanced systems that can actually act on their own to get complex things done. They can plan, they can reason, and they can execute tasks with very little human supervision. And their platform for this, which they call Agentforce, it's designed to work in 3 basic steps. First, it pulls all of a company's customer data into one place. Next, it unleashes these autonomous AI agents to handle specific jobs. And finally, those agents just get to work, automating everything from handling customer refunds to creating brand new marketing campaigns. And get this isn't just a product they're selling. They are using it aggressively themselves. The CEO, Mark Benioff, he came right out and said that AI is already doing up to half of the internal work at Salesforce. I mean, that really shows you how much they believe this is the future. But, you know, this kind of crazy fast evolution, it hasn't happened without some serious friction. And this brings us to what you could call the Salesforce paradox, a place where the company's stated values seem to clash pretty hard with its actions. So on one side, Salesforce constantly promotes its culture of Ohana, which is this beautiful Hawaiian concept of family and community. But on the other side of that coin, since 2023, the company has laid off over 12,000 employees. Another one of their core values is trust. It's all over their website. And yet, in 2025, their customers were hit by these targeted phishing campaigns where hackers stole massive amounts of data and used it for extortion. Now, to be clear, the Salesforce platform itself wasn't breached, but it definitely raises some tough questions about the security of the whole system. And these kinds of paradoxes keep popping up. An immigrant rights group actually rejected a $250,000 donation from them because of Salesforce's contracts with U.S. Border Patrol. The company also got sued in a case, which was later dismissed, that alleged its tools helped facilitate trafficking on the notorious Backpage.com. And then in 2025, there were reports they pitched AI tools to ICE to help with deportation campaigns. So when you put all this together, the groundbreaking technology, the explosive growth, the controversies, it all boils down to one huge critical question. What does this company's vision really mean for the future of work? For a while, the company line was that AI would help workers, augment them, not replace them. But then CEO Mark Benioff gave a much, much blunter answer. When he was asked about how AI was impacting his own workforce, he just said it plainly. I need less heads. And that wasn't just him talking. Those words had real consequences. Right after deploying their new AI agents, the company eliminated around 4,000 human customer service jobs, cutting that specific workforce almost in half. And so that's where the story of Salesforce leaves us. It leaves us with this profound question that is way, way bigger than just one company. As these powerful, autonomous AI agents become the new digital labor force, what exactly is the role of the human worker? And that's a question we're all going to have to answer sooner rather than later.